Can you talk to him on the phone?
Sure. But he always says things like, why can't I come see you? And I end up, falling apart.
He does have a new love, former restaurant manager Pam Seals. But on this subject, Reynolds is uncharacteristically quiet. In the meantime, Reynolds is living where he grew up, near this ranch in Jupiter, Florida, which serves as his getaway from the media's glare. And although his life has been like a roller coaster, Reynolds says it has been one heck of a ride.
I'm grateful for every director that ever said action, because that's what my life has been.
As for Lonnie Anderson's reaction to what Reynolds had to say about her, a spokesperson said she has no comment. Meanwhile, his new film, a thriller called The Maddening, will reunite him with a woman he did his first nude scene with 25 years ago, Angie Dickinson. This time, we're told, they keep their clothes on.
Coming up, the story that'll make you want to scream. The secrets to riding out one of the most frightening film stunts you'll ever see in a Dateline state-of-the-art. Also, can you guess what year it was? The Dateline timeline. Here again is Stone Phillips.
Now, Dateline follow-up. A brief look at what's happened since we brought you this story. In the last 18 months, we've aired 2 reports on tax refund fraud. Billions of dollars stolen by people who've learned how to cheat the electronic tax refund program. In just one case, a group of college students in Virginia cheated the government out of millions of dollars. At the time, the IRS said, no problem.
I think the characterization of it as being widespread fraud would be inaccurate. I think
it's not widespread?
It is not widespread.
But a former criminal investigator for the IRS told us the amount involved was huge.
4 to 5 billion would it be?
Well, last week, the Treasury Department, which oversees the IRS, told Congress what Dateline has been reporting all along.
We estimate, as I shall explain, that it is a $1 to $5 billion problem.
As he said, billion with a B. And Treasury admitted a lot of it was lost through electronic filing. They say they'll keep working on the problem, and we'll keep an eye on the story.
Now the Dateline timeline. All the following events happened during the second week of October. Do you know what year it was? Ed Sullivan, the columnist and MC, died at 73. Leon Jaworski resigned as special Watergate prosecutor. Life is a cabaret, oh chum. Cabaret was the top movie. The cabaret. Chico, don't be discouraged. Chico and the Man was in TV's top 5. And Olivia Newton-John had the top song. All right, what year was it? 1972, 1973, or 1974? The answer when Dateline continues. So what year was it? Sullivan died. Jaworski resigned. And I Honestly Love You led the charts. It all happened the second week of October, 1974.
Here again is Stone Phillips.
How much action would a Hollywood action film have if it weren't for the automotive acrobatics? Those high-speed chase scenes where cars crash and explode right on cue. It's the stuff action thrillers are made of. But in the new film Terminal Velocity, it reaches a whole new height. You get to see a car spend more time airborne than any vehicle since Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. The difference is, this isn't child's play. It's a Dateline state-of-the-art. In Terminal Velocity, Charlie Sheen plays a skydiver trying to save his leading lady who's in the trunk of that red Cadillac convertible. And the Cadillac is in a plane 15,000 feet up. But wait a minute, did they just skydive with a $70,000 car? No, they did it with 9 $70,000 cars.
I was very uptight throughout the whole sequence.
Stunt Captain Kevin Donnelly is a 25-year veteran of skydiving. For this shoot, he sent his team up in choppers, each one with a car hanging by a cable. 6 cars had parachutes. 3 were set to take the fall and crash land. stunt divers then slid down from the choppers and onto the wind-whipped caddies, all dangling high above, where else? Death Valley, California. The big obstacle, no oxygen.
You get oxygen hypoxia. You're a little oxygen-starved at 15,000 feet. Your mind really doesn't work as fast, so if something goes wrong, you really have to have your plan drilled into your head what you're going to do.
Donnelly figured his skydivers had just 16 seconds to do each part of the stunt before the lack of oxygen began to affect them. On the ground, the cameras were placed on other choppers and on the helmets of additional skydivers to get it all on film. Finally, everything is set. The cars are let go, plunging at a mere 140 miles an hour.
When you're grabbing onto it in free fall, it dictates where you want to go. You have no choice. You're just holding on and you're on for the ride.
The stunts are pulled off within the 16 seconds. The skydivers release and parachute away. No one is hurt. Now, the easy part. The stars step in front of a blue screen and pretend to free fall. Other blue screen bits are shot with Charlie Sheen and co-star Nastasia Kinski in parachute harnesses. And here's an abridged version of how it plays out in the movie. It all goes according to plan. First, good guy Charlie Sheen gets rid of the bad guy. Then he opens the trunk and pulls his co-star free. Of course, this being Hollywood, you know the good guys come through it with hardly a scratch. But if you're thinking of buying a used Cadillac cheap, here's what they looked like at the end. When they finished shooting the film, the producers of Terminal Velocity sold the Cadillacs to a scrap metal dealer for $1,000 apiece.
Coming up next, the Dateline poll, our question of the week. Here again is Stone Phillips.
And now here's Tom Brokaw with a program note.
Thanks, Stone. Tomorrow on NBC Nightly News, the Russian mob, powerful, organized, and terrorizing streets right here in America.
We see a heavy incidence in extortion, kidnappings, contract murders.
How can it be stopped? Don't miss NBC Nightly News tomorrow. Stone?
Thanks, Tom. Time now to take a look at some of the stories coming up on Dateline Friday. This woman claims her husband should be allowed to die.
I believe Mike died that night. This is just a body existing.
But his sister says his wife has sinister motives.
If she wants to get on with her life, fine. Let's divorce Mike. Let's not murder him.
It's a right-to-die case unlike any you've ever seen. Plus, this teenager kept a terrible family secret until the pain became too much.
I couldn't imagine how she held it in so long.
Now, this victim of sexual abuse is speaking out.
What made you decide to go public?
These stories on Dateline Friday. And finally tonight, as the saying goes, it's deja vu all over again. American troops are back in the Persian Gulf. And that brings us to the Dateline poll, our question of the week. As U.S. forces stake out positions in the area, President Clinton is clearly putting the pressure on Iraq's Saddam Hussein. We asked 502 Americans whose days are really numbered. Only 36% said they think Saddam will be the first to leave office. 51% said Bill Clinton would be the first to say his goodbyes. And that's it for Dateline Wednesday. We'll be back on Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 Central. And for all of us here at NBC News, good night.
For a transcript, call 1-800-777-TEXT. To purchase a video segment, call 1-800-420-2626.